So I am live on the Discord and I'm live on the Tube. Make sure I have this adjusted at least a little bit. So I can pop up the comments for the Discord, and I'm also tracking the screen. Huh. Wonder what that was. Nothing important. Alrighty. Let's see what we got. So for today, we did actually plan out the right strategy. So, I mean, I got different levels on IWM for today's trade. But I did get what I wanted. It's more than 30 seconds. Okay, let me turn down the volume on that. Pull that up. Yeah. Makes sense, huh? But for SPY, I wanted to see the reject of 535.91 into the 525 level. See, we did break below that 522.91 and into the bottom, the lower end of the cup, inverse cup and handle, which is at 520.19, 520.50. So we did end up getting into that level, finding a nice little solid bounce for the end of day market trend. Some bullshit piece of paper. That played out wonderfully, to be honest. I mean, my initial entry was roughly about right here-ish. We came up, filled that gap, and we ended up rejecting off that gap, which was a good indication for more of a downtrend entry. So I took the entry about, I want to say 15 to 20 minutes before bond auctions, 20-year bond auctions was today, which would be at fucking 12, no, 12 o'clock. Uh, yeah, 12 o'clock Central. I did end up placing that whole trade. I took a trim roughly at this 527. I noticed that there was a little bit of confluence on the 1 minute chart, but I ended up taking a trim, closed out of the first contract, or at least the first half of the contracts, roughly about 250%. And another on IWM, I closed out on the contract at 197. I mean 170, 170%. The initial entry for the IWM was at the loss of the support level on the wedge. So I did make a good chunk of change. I didn't hold all the contracts, to be honest. I think I held, took a trim, and then I held down to this 183. I ended up taking another entry at that 183, but that was mainly for a next day play. I also had a stop loss at that 183 for tomorrow's expiration date. Con. I did get stopped out about 20 minutes before the bell, end of day bell, and that was pretty much of a bummer. I ended up losing $3 on that one contract, which is not that bad, considering people could lose a lot more. But I wasn't gonna risk a whole lot. I wanted to see more of a downtrend. Technically, I did want to see us to close below this 183.77. Didn't work out that way, so ended up getting stopped out, which is it's okay. I mean, tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's a new day, so we're up so far on the aftermarket or overnight market, up a dollar. So that 0.59 on IWM, 0.45 on SPY. So for tomorrow's market, it's going to be fairly simple again. We are going to look for more of a reject. I do not want to see us break above the bull or the handle anyways. So this 130, 135, 135.91, this is going to be a very large level to look at if you're looking for rejects. Let's say we were to break above this, it would depend on how we're going to be holding. So if in the third in 15 minutes and 30 minutes after the bell, depending on where we're at, we could easily hit and come up and test that 535.91. Given that we do have data tomorrow, which is let's see if this fucks me up. Okay, yeah, so it doesn't pop up on here. Yeah, I have confidential data I don't want to give away. So let me pull up Market Watch. What do we got for tomorrow? For data wise, Market Watch, U.S. economy, U.S. economic calendar. Tomorrow's data watch. We'll be looking for an initial jobless claims, housing starts, and building permits. Am I reading that right? Yeah. Yeah, for tomorrow and also the Philadelphia Fed manufacturing. Yeah, it's gonna pop up anyways. So, yeah, it's a good thing I didn't freaking have anything else popped up on there. We'll be looking for these 3 in the morning before the bell opens. I mean, 4 in the morning before the bell opens. And essentially, what we're gonna be looking for is a weekend data or even a baseline data. So if we are what? What do you want, Cat? If data comes back flatline, there's a good chance that we could just continue the downtrend and push on for a lower low. So let's see. Possible rejects would be this 1 hour right here. 1 hour area of confluence is at 531.50 to 531.40. Or 531.80. Let me break this down a little bit more. There we go. Supply support level for today. So 530.54 to 531.55. So it's a nice dollar end reject. If we were to break that above, we'd hit that 535.91. I know a colleague of mine is pushing for a 535 reject, and if we were to push down, we would be looking at a surpass to surprise 520.30 and down into 517.02. Given that it is a pretty large move, essentially what we're going to be looking for is the overnight or pre-market to be able to hit these levels, and we were to downtrend from there and after the bell. For earnings, I don't really know if we have any earnings tomorrow. Trying to compile a bunch of this together. So that would be SPY. IWM, we are going to be looking for more of a reject level, end data end reject. Just clear out some of this bullshit right here. Don't really need it. That was that level. Break this down. And trying to find an area where it seems like a viable location for a reject. Honestly, if we were to break above and hold above today's high, that would be a kind of interesting move to 189. I do want to see us reject and test that 189 again before we come back down in a perfect world. But we don't live in a perfect world, so kind of being stuck in between two levels is kind of sucky. Honestly, I am just gonna keep looking for more of a reject, the continuation in the trend. I would like to see that 181.92 down to 180.88, at least for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, even though it's Thursday, but for the market it is Friday because on Friday we do not have an open market. All federal markets will be closed on Friday. Just a little heads up. So we would just really need to just reject again. Let's go with don't even bother looking at that 187.28. This is just gonna be a fucking psych level. Just because I've seen it has touched and rejected a few times. We kind of kept closing below it on the hourly today. But overall, I am gonna keep watching for this 189. What? I'm still bearish regardless of which the standpoint is. I mean, we do have a nice little bullish divergence. Say we lose this 8 EMA, at 186.17 on the daily. Could reject from there too. No, seems like we're at it now as it is. That level is far from viable. I guess tomorrow would depend if we were to break up above the highs. I mean, market is pushing up, so essentially we could open up at that 186.96 to 187. On average, that push up, do a little pop and drop of that 18 to that 189.20, and then reject it. Um, what do we got? Brian Beals. Um, tired. Look at that. We ended up testing that demand zone on Amazon. I know I should pay attention to that one too. large volume on the pump. Essentially, we could just come down, retest, push back up above. If market wanted to switch over, but as tomorrow, as it goes for tomorrow, we are data dependent tomorrow, so we would be looking for either a bullish data, which would give us a nice move to the upside, to be honest, or we end up going with a baseline data, which is pretty much what was expected, or even lower than what was expected, which would give us a more downtrend move. If we were to lose this demand zone on Amazon down to that 169.94, so 160, 170, let's just say 170. We lose 170, we would be looking for 162.11 within the next coming days. Whether that is tomorrow, who knows? Whether that's on Monday of next week, is also another certainty that could probably happen. Let's see if we can. What we got here? Nice little spot. Nice little 1 hour reject resistance level. But other than that, I'm not really watching anything else. Um, I did try to keep my eye on Ford. I was kind of hoping for another long-term entry by now, but seems like we're not getting it. For the long term on Ford, I really would like to see this $8 $8.30 to 7.26. Um, just so I could boost up another 200 shares just for fun. But if we were to break above today's high, which is that literally that fib that from day prior, yesterday's fib, given that it was a significant reject, we would be looking for more of another reject in that level of that 957 to 962 on Ford anyways, but it would really depend on how everything goes on tomorrow morning with data and if they're gonna give us a move to the upside or downside. Me personally, I am expecting or anticipating for more of a downside, as mentioned before. I would really like to try to make some more money on the downside puts and before, and also try to get into a long-term position with a little bit heftier of a discount, to be honest. Got 21 minutes. See what we got for Nvidia. Nvidia looks like crap. Can I say crap? Yeah, it's not that bad, right? Just gotta watch out what I say. Fucking cancel culture is a crazy son of a bitch, man. We did get close. We got close to this demand zone. Given that we did test the 61.8 at that 101.19, that was a pretty good move to the downs for a nice bounce. But honestly, I would like to see more downside. That candle alone, suggesting for more of an upside move. If we were to go to the upside, I don't want to taste that 4 hour demand. So this 111.98 would be our supply zone. That was from that. This move was from the whole $5.5 billion freaking fine or something like that sum that Nvidia posted yesterday, or was it this morning? I don't know. All these days are blending in. Yeah, I'm not really watching anything else other than the IWMs by QQQ. Uh, shit, I forgot to even mention QQQ levels. So QQQ, I wasn't really paying attention to it a whole lot, but it seems like we are forming this cup just like SPY. Nice little cup and handle move. on the bottom, this bottom of the handle, or top of the handle in this case, because we are an inverse cup and handle. I would really like to see this 530 to 5, personally 530 to 532 to reject. I know, like I mentioned before, one of my colleagues is looking for a 535 reject, which doesn't happen very often where we're this far apart from our own levels. But given that with recent data and trend, considering we're still in a bear trend, not in a bear market overall, I would really like to see this handle to be completed for more downside continuation. Probably end up going to this 500 and then bouncing from there up to go to the upside. That demand zone would be very, very good for me. At least I would find it as a good opportunity to be able to buy in for longs. But like I said, market is unpredictable sometimes. Uh, if I wanted to get in for longs in this case scenario on IWM, I would have wanted to see this break of this 189.20, or at least the 192 if I'm paying attention long enough. Would be a great opportunity for me to chase for a long entry, uh, as long as everything comes into play with data and news. But yeah, for tomorrow, I am looking for a reject. Gonna This is the last time I'm repeating it, but for tomorrow, I'm gonna look for a reject roughly at that 530 to that 532 level, and I am gonna look for a price target of 517.02 to 520.21. If we were to invalidate, we would invalidate above the 532.05. It would literally just claim and then test that 535 and break above 535. If by any chance we do end up breaking above this resistance trend line, then I would consider going into a long position for the following week and a half. I'm sorry, Phil. Targeting these 552.20s, 552.20 to the 565 to 563 supply zone for another reject level. But initially we would have to freaking break out above uh, the the handle itself, or at least the bull, or the cup, I mean. But the cup projected be this kind of move, either from here to here, and then back down to here. Kind of that ordeal. Another possibility would be we open up there, come down, retest this level again, right there, and then go halfway in between before making another descent to the downside and retesting these 522 levels, with Monday completing the rest of the move, kind of like some ordeal like that. In that case scenario, or vice versa, we could open up and consolidate, do a little loop down, just like so. That's just my own idea. It's not a recommendation, and you will lose money. But in a perfect world, we would be looking for more of a downside entry. For IWM, honestly, we can either curl out of this uptrend, or we can even come down and test this level right here. Kind of like this. Something like that. Or even and if data does come back negative, I would try to find it intraday pretty much right after the bell. I would give it tomorrow, definitely give tomorrow at least 5 minutes, 5 to 10, 5 to 15 minutes for the market to stabilize. Or for a cheaper entry, just wait until roughly about midday, uh, or mid-market day, that is. For me, it would be 12 o'clock on Central Time. I was wondering if I missed anything here, but it doesn't look like I did. It's like even if we pull a fib right here, let's change this. Blue dashed. I mean, it is a fib retracement. Don't get me wrong. Could easily fucking go back into this level to 582.18 or the weekly fib level from last week. The whole Donald Trump move. The Trump rally right there. We could easily come back down and test this 179.51. But as always, it does depend on the data tomorrow morning. Yeah, overall, looking for more downside. I would be open to an upside entry, as long as we were to break above this 535 up to this high of 544.47. On IWM, I would like to see a 189.20 break to this 192.09. Entry would be a pop up and a bounce, retest of that 186.96 to that 189, take a trim, and then have a runner for the rest of the move up. In a perfect world for an upside move. That is, as long as data does confirm more of an upside. Let's see what we got for standard deviation. So we're at 184.97, so 198, 185 would be fine. So 191, 154. Handy dandy trusty calculator, where you at? Pull this up. That plus this. 349 for a move, so 184, so 185, 186, 187, so 188. We could easily push up into this reject level to 189, or even push down even lower to this 181 level. Wait, fucking $4 move? A 350 move. $3.50 move. Down. So, yeah, back into this fib level, if anything, for tomorrow. Probably do a little bounce and hoppity doo dotty and then come down. Any questions? I know that I gibber and jabber a lot, but we do offer live trading on our Discord. Currently, the Discord is on a free membership, with soon having to be a paid membership. But just so that way we can control the inflow and outflow of our members. Trying to make sure that we have a consistent communication with everybody, so at least that way everybody is on the same page or is getting questions answered in a timely basis manner. Let's see what we got for Rocket Lab. This was one I wanted to buy into. Now we might still continue moving up. Yeah. I wasn't really too worried about this, to be honest. But I might get me an entry in that. Another one I was also anticipating for a cheaper buy. Where you at? $7. I mean, it's alright. Did miss my entry at that 550 level. I'm not too bummed out about it. Best case scenario, we were to break this daily 21 EMA at that 7 something. 733. Break and hold above that on the daily. And then we can continue moving to the upside. Best case scenario. Okay, that wasn't supposed to move, but it did. Apple is another one I like to watch. 197.80 for another reject down into 189.66 for a price target. Either that or we were to break this 197.80 and I could take long positions above 200. Stop it, fucking cat. Taking a long position above the 200 level, coming into the 205 would be a nice move, a nice intraday trade. I really wouldn't go any long-term long, like long contracts, swing contracts, until we can break above this 211.79. I would treat this with a void of caution between the 200 and the 211 because it could easily reject within those ranges.